Hello and welcome to another episode of Tales from a Professional Nerd. My name is Bryan Steele and I will be your nerd today and any other day that you watch one of my silly little shows. Alright, first and foremost, I'm going to go ahead and let you know that today's a short episode. I know I say that a lot and then I get on a rant and I pontificate. We'll see where this goes. But as you probably figured out by the thumbnail, I've got a lot going on right now, and I like to be open, and I like to be honest, and I like to share. So I want to do that, but I need to be mindful of the fact that the chainsaws I'm juggling and the plates that I'm spinning, I can't let them down, so to speak. So before we get into Leek and Bryan, which will also bleed into the whole thumbnail topic, I want to go ahead and congratulate the comment raffle winner for the month of April, because now that it is officially May, insert Justin Timberlake song, insert May the 4th be with you, yeah. So, on episode 231, I think it's Commie Deer, which kind of cracks me up. So congratulations at Commie Deer from episode 231, because in my head I immediately picture a communist Bambi. Like, imagine like Bambi in a Russian outfit. But either way, congratulations. Your comment came up in the Randominator. And I will be posting on that comment for you to get in touch with me so we can send you a cool prize pack. And for everybody who's new to the channel, every month I pick one random. Well, I don't pick. I put everybody's individual threads into the Randominator, and it goes and it spits out a rando. And I do that once a month, and I give you a box full of random gaming-related things from the Tales from a Professional Nerd studio. Sometimes it's dice, sometimes it's books, sometimes it's a miniature, or there have been a few people who have gotten some 3D prints from my 3D printer when it's up and running. And, I like to reward people for engaging and sharing and subscribing and being a part of the collective nerd farm. So thank you very much, Commie Deer, for being part of this, and I hope you will reach out with your address so I can send you cool stuff. Alright, so let's get to the week in Bryan. The easy one, is painting. I need to do some painting. I got very frustrated with a project because I broke something that I broke a model that I was working on, and it is expensive resin that was not easy to fix, and I keep going back to looking at it going, I gotta fix it. I gotta go back and fix the paint job, but it's just hard for me to sit over at the hobby desk knowing that I've got stuff that needs fixing and stuff that needs patch paint and whatnot. But I will definitely get back to it soon, because I've got a couple of models that I need to get done specifically for Origins here in a month. A little bit, I guess, technically 2 months worth of weeks, if that makes any sense. So that's painting. Gaming wise, we played a fun Rifts game last week, where it was kind of Rifts it tends to be very combat heavy. It's a lot of super lasers and explosions and mini missiles and fighting dragons and magic and all that stuff. But we had kind of a whodunit. So the game ended. The time before the game ended with us kind of at a celebration of how awesome we are or were with the with like a citywide gala of, hey, we beat the bandits, that kind of thing. And it ended with a lot of us imbibing the booze and whatnot. But during the middle of it, there was someone has gone missing. Someone important has gone missing, and so the next day, with clearer heads and this group of interdimensional beings and jacked up chemical juicers and all this stuff, we had to do kind of a medium to low tech sort of CSI. It's really cool, and we're pretty sure we know where we need to go next time. But it was nice. It was nice to get a couple skill rolls in and things like that. But it was mostly about coming up with cool ideas, getting interesting information about other NPCs. It was a good. It is proof that no matter how old or crunchy or clunky or smooth or streamlined or whatever, no matter what kind of game system you're talking about, you can make the most out of it in those cool role-playing those cool role-playing sessions, and a good game master can use any of those settings, any of those systems, if they know what they're doing and they know how to kind of handle the group and handle how the game flows. You can do just about anything with any system. And I never like to use absolutes, so I'll say just about any, because I know there's probably some out there that don't cooperate nicely. But it was a lot of fun. We had a good time. And then the following day, not only did I get to have a chance to talk to one of my oldest friends at this point. I haven't talked to him in a while. He's been very busy with new jobs and things, but he is a writer. He's written screenplays and things for movies. And I think there's a really, really good chance that I'm probably going to recruit him to do some writing for Evil Genius. Some projects coming down the road. So he and I talked a lot about intergalactic heroes. We talked a lot about everyday heroes. A lot about the Adventures for the Ego program. So it was just nice to reconnect and be able to talk shop, but also spend a couple hours in the car with my good friend that I haven't had a chance to talk to in quite a while, which I think may have led to some of what the topic of today. We'll get to that in a second. But we drove together to my friend's house down in Indianapolis, where we my friend runs his own homebrew world for D&D, where I play my drunken Brad Pitt drunken fighting monk, and I had a good time. It was a short session. The game master is dealing with some health stuff, and towards the end of the day he was getting kind of tired and things, and I think that's one of the things that when we were younger in college and high school, being able to do all night sessions and let's marathon a weekend and play for 16 hours and we can still do that, but we have to be very mindful of the fact that sometimes a 3.5 to 4 hour session is fine. It's fine. It's perfect. We all, a lot of us have kids. A lot of us have, some of us have health issues. Some of us need to, maybe we've got particular, timed things that we've got to get to, prior adulting. So I think while that game does not play as often as I would love it to, it was a good session. It was a lot of fun. I love get to hang out with those people because I don't get to see them very often. And one of my friends that plays in there, Rachel, she has been monitoring. She's been dealing with doing a lot of stuff for her weight loss, and she looked fantastic. She looked amazing. I realized it had been quite a while since we've played because there was a drastic change in how she felt and how she looked and how she. She just seemed, bubbly and bouncy. She's always awesome, but you know what I mean. Like there was an actual. She's made some major changes to her life and her physical well-being, and it showed. And I'm super proud of her. So that's gaming wise. That's pretty much it. Other than I've been for video games, I played a little bit of Baldur's Gate. It's I won't lie. I love the game. It's amazing. I love playing it. It's something I get to play actually with my wife. But the announcement from Larian Studios a couple of weeks ago, where they're like, "Yep, we're not going to do any DLC. We're not gonna put anything else out. We're not the ones making Baldur's Gate 4, if they ever even are." It kind of deflated. It kind of took a little bit of the wind out of my sails, because there's so much they could do with that game. There's so many side plots and other characters and other classes, and there's so much that they could do with that engine that at this point it sounds like, unless you're playing it on a PC, which I am not, that you're just basically, the game is the game, and there you go. And I know that there's hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of hours of replayability, but it does kind of deflate things a little bit, knowing that if I play through this again, I might have to make I'll get to make some different changes and different choices and stuff, but it's still going to be more or less the same arc, and that it kind of bummed me out a little bit. So it is a little harder for me to want to jump in there and finish it, because that means it'll be over. But I did find a new fun pastime, Payday 3, on the Xbox. I played Payday 2 into the ground. Played that constantly with my friends, and I jumped in on Payday 3, despite the fact that my kids said that it was getting kind of iffy reviews from the fan base. And I think it's great. I think it's a lot of fun. It's gorgeous. The Payday music has always been great. Gameplay is good. The stuff they've added is good. The only drawback that I have with it is that because it is completely server-based, and I don't know how many active servers they have, I don't know the bandwidth they've got, I don't know any of that, it seems real hard to sometimes get into a mission, like to have the mission happen. Even if you're hosting, it still seems hard sometimes to find a server to let you play. So that is, I even muted the robot this time, and it is still going to talk to me. Apparently muting does not matter. I have to unplug it sometimes. Oh my gosh. Sorry about that, guys. But it's a lot of fun. I just wish that you could find, I wish you could get into the servers. I wish you could host. I would love for there to be an offline part of that game, because if the internet's acting up, or if their servers are acting up, you just don't get to play. And that's actually what happened to me and my friend last night. We really wanted to heist, and we sat there for 20 minutes trying to get a game to just load, and we never did. So we went back to an old standby of ours, Star Wars Battlefront 2, and played that for several hours. And that's, for such an old game, it's still amazing. It's still fun. But I did see a trailer for a game. Technically, I saw it through TikTok. And when it comes out at the end of the month. When it comes out, I am definitely going to get it, because it looks amazing. And the creator of the game, he got on his TikTok, and it was tears in his eyes, told everybody the hardships, that he didn't go into like some deep sob story or anything like that, but he did basically, there were tears of joy of the fact that it's been an uphill battle making this game, and it's been years and years of him and his team working, dedicated to this project, and trying to see it come to its full course, and getting it verified and okayed and coded for Xbox. It was really touching, and it reminded me, it's a video game, but it reminds me of the reason why I do the things that I do. I make games and I write novels and things because I want to share that I want to have other people share in the joy that I get out of gaming and reading and things like that, and I'm trying to facilitate them to do that. And anytime that I see someone enjoying something that I have done, I get that feeling. And while I don't tear up like I used to, because I definitely did. The first time I saw somebody playing freaking one of my armies in Dark Age, I got a little sniffly. The first time somebody asked me for an autograph on a book that I wrote, and had to fight back looking like an ugly crying idiot. And seeing this guy being so honest and so open about all the heart and love that they've put into this game, and then watching the trailer and seeing the game looks amazing. Game is called, I think it's called Hyperforce. I'd have to look up the actual, but I think it's called Hyperforce. It's basically about your character. It's a 3D shooter, or like a first-person shooter or over-the-shoulder shooter, where you are an action figure. If you remember the old movie Toy Soldiers, it has a very heavy Toy Soldiers feel. Or if the movie Toy Story was an action movie. It looks great. It looks fantastic. And when it comes out, I will definitely be giving them my money and attention, because it looks amazing. And I'm super happy that something like that is going to exist. And that's pretty much all the gaming that I've done. Not a lot else there. Personal wise, things are doing good. My sciatic is feeling much better. I've been able to do a normal gym routine for the last 2 gym sessions. I don't think the weight loss has been kick-started yet. I think I still might be kind of licking my wounds from those couple of weeks where I had to take it easy. But I'm back at it, and that's what matters. Work-wise, work's been great. I am finishing a project for the Dungeon in a Box guys, probably today or tomorrow, like real soon. Working on the full pitch for my next Shadowrun novel. I know what it is, and I know what it's going to be. I just need to get it down in words for John and the Catalyst guys to okay it so I can get started. About halfway done through a bunch of narrative on a board game project. I've got an adventure, an Essence 20 adventure coming up. Work on Intergalactic Heroes and the Evil Genius organized play system. Some of those adventures are ongoing. I'm a busy boy. I'm very busy. I've got a couple of other future projects through Evil Genius that I need to finish the license, basically the pitch to the licensor, to make sure that they're okay with us doing that before we start wasting time and energy on those projects. But yeah, no, it's I've got a lot going on. I've got a lot going on. Probably too much. I say probably because everything is, none of the, other than the new novel, which I have months and months to work on, and Intergalactic Heroes, which is a huge project, but I still have some time to get that to its beta stage. It's just a lot of little projects and a lot of things that I need to check off, and find the time to do so, which is hard. I went into the month of April being like, awesome, no conventions. I can dedicate a bunch of weekends to getting some of this freelance done. And April has moved very quickly. And May looks like it's probably going to be a lot of the same. I hear from my friends. All right, we're getting into today's topic. Because the amount of work that I do as a freelancer and a full-time, producer, designer at Evil Genius, the amount of work that I do, my boss during one of our team meetings said something. I know he was saying it as a compliment, and I took it as a, but it really does highlight. He called me when we were in the team. We were talking about the different tasks and things that we're gonna that we're all responsible for, things that we've got to do, things that we've got to take care of. And it was something minor. I don't even remember what it was. It was so minor. It was just an easy thing of, yeah, I'll get that pushed out. And he was looking at the different workload that everybody's carrying, and he said, he called me the hardest working guy, was it hardest working boy? It might have been the hardest working boy in the industry, hardest working man in the industry. I don't remember. But I know that that's not the case. There are tons of people that are working their proverbial asses off. But it was nice to hear that he recognizes how much I do between Warzone and everything else, and all the Evil Genius stuff, and my novels, and in order to keep my family afloat. It's nice to at least would it be nice to get a super big raise? Of course, but it is nice that it's noticed, that it's nice to be seen for what I do, and how much I do, and I'm not. This is not a let's talk about Bryan being awesome situation. This is just, it was nice to hear that, but it did. Several hours later, it resonated with me. Just how much time I spend in these four walls, how much time I work on things and stuff, and it's heavy. It requires we go back a few years. Go back a few years to the beginning of this channel, to the original episodes, and the reason, the origin behind Tales from a Professional Nerd came from me needing a way to get some of the stress and freak out and depression about me in the industry out. And I chose the camera. I chose I've never shied away from a camera, and I chose to share it with the public, to the people who have, friends and family and fans that hopefully care, or care enough to watch some of my, as some people have said, ridiculously long videos. But I don't do this to monetize. I don't do this to get famous. I do this because I need it. I need to be able sometimes to get these thoughts out, to get the to get the conversation going, and to talk to people, because I do spend a lot of time alone. I spend a lot of time here in the studio, dealing with, this, that, and the other thing, meetings galore. And yeah, it's awesome. I getting to see movies because we're screening them for a license, getting to see them months in advance. That's super cool. Writing novels that are shaping the world in a game that I used to play in high school is, it's an amazing feeling. Knowing that, last night my wife went to bed a couple hours earlier than me, because she wanted to go upstairs and read. And for the last week or so, at least, she's been reading my work. She's actually been reading my novel, one of my novels, and enjoying it. And it's not, she's not doing it as a chore or a favor to me. She's doing it because she wants to know what I do when I'm cooped up in here. And it means the world to me. It's so massive. A few years back, when one of my first Shadowrun, I think it was a novella, came out, one of my closest friends that I have played Shadowrun with read it, and then I noticed several weeks after it came out, that one of the first 5-star reviews on Amazon was my friend's review, and it wasn't a review that was, I'm going to 5-star my buddy because he needs the rating. It was a thought out, well written, talked about things that happened in the story, and my heart grinched. The 3 sizes too big. Like, it just immediately, I was like, oh my God, I love it. And maybe it's narcissistic, maybe it's a little bit of ego, the mental state, not the not the organized plate. But it means so much to me when friends and family are partaking in the whole reason why I do this. The whole reason is to try and, put a smile on people's faces, to try and bring a little joy to other people's lives. And if it's a life that I do directly interact with, it just means that much more. And it makes it all worth it, but it's taxing. And I just, it's hard sometimes. It's hard when all right, I'm getting off on a tangent. I'm tangenting, which I knew this video was going to be partially tangenty, but I do want to, I want to at least address why I chose the topic. So the topic of the day, if you obviously read the thumbnail, is Mental Health Day. Stress is bad. It's rough. Yes, it drives us forward to do things, and sometimes it pushes us to get over the finish line, and all of those cliches. But at the end of the day, it's still something heavy. And this week, I've interacted with old friends who I haven't talked to in a while. I've seen people who I haven't seen in months. I've come to the realization that my life is it's far more different than I thought it was post-COVID. I used to be my house used to be the place where everyone came to play games, to do game nights, I used to be the guy that, if there were plans, if there was a party, if there was an event, if somebody was going to run a game, whatever, I would be on that list for people to talk to or ask about, or, hey, you want to be involved? And ever since COVID, ever since some of my closest friends moved like an hour away, I have felt far more withdrawn. This is me being honest, guys. And I know some of you have probably clicked off. You're like, okay, this is going to be Bryan talking about Bryan the whole time. But that's what today is. Sorry. So, see me next week for cool stuff if that's what it takes. But again, this channel started with me trying to keep my head straight so I can continue in the industry, and it helped. And that's kind of what today is going to be as well. But I, just feeling very withdrawn, very distant for a lot of my friends. People who I, would have, in a heartbeat, I would think would be here in an instant if I needed them. And I'm feeling far more detached from them lately, because I work so damn much, and there are so many things that happen that between the fact that we are a one-car household. I've got 2 teenage kids that do teenage kid things. I have a wife that needs additional care because of her disability. And then I've got just a pile of deadlines and projects and things. And yeah, I do have a lot of free time that I use to play video games, and maybe play a board game now and then, or get into some role-playing games, or do some play testing. And that's awesome, because I need that, or I would just melt. But it is hard sometimes to not be the go-to hub that I used to be. And it's rough, you know. I'm 47. Well, I will be. Am I 47? No, I'm 46. I'll be 47 this year. I'm so old, I'm forgetting my age. But you know, I'm almost 47 years old, and you know, life has changed quite a bit. I still get to make games. I still am happy. I try to stay as positive as I can about as many things as I can. I definitely wear that Gen X moniker of, if it doesn't directly affect me, I can't focus on it. You know, I cannot let some of the things that are happening in the world seep into my head and stay there, because you know, some of those poisons, I can't, you know, I just can't, I can't be part of that. And then we had COVID did a lot of damage, you know, yeah, to the economy and to the people and to the systems and blah 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 blah. You know, I could get philosophical about all that forever, but it did make it. It definitely had a benchmark to it that a lot of things changed after that, because so many people changed how they interact with each other. It's so much more electronic, you know, through the camera and in Zoom calls, and so much of that. Some of it was very, very good. It was definitely positive during COVID. But it created a theater of a different arena of how people interact with each other. And one of those arenas is Discord. Which Discord's fine. Yeah, I think it's a great. I like Facebook. I like Discord. I like, you know, I social media is what social media is. It's filled with evils. It's filled with positives. You just got to figure out which, you know, what you're going to use it for. And this week it really hit home. My kind of greater friend community has a Discord set up to try and talk about the games that they play, and you know, try and schedule events. So let's get together and do these things and stuff. And it hit me real hard this week. I had to mute a bunch of channels on the friend Discord, because perhaps selfishly, it was a lot of me seeing those pings pop up and then checking it, and then finding out that it's my friends doing these things that I wasn't invited to, or that maybe I just couldn't make it to. You know, no like ill will cast on them, no shade, but just things that didn't, you know, that I didn't have an opportunity. Or even some stuff, it's you know, like I'm seeing them super, you know, talk about for pages and pages and pages about this product that they love to death, and it's awesome. I'm glad that they do, but that I have a hard time getting them do something that I'm involved with. And I know that sounds kind of selfish. It feels selfish. It feels very selfish. But it's hard to see. You know, it's little tiny, you know, micro pokes, you know, little punches to the gut, you know, when it's like, oh, they're all getting together on a day that I am being an adult, you know. And that's not to say that they're not adults. It's just a lot of, you know, none of them have kids. You know, none of them, as far as I can tell, have to deal with some of the things that I have to deal with. They have their own stuff that they deal with, and I don't want to take that away from anybody. I definitely would never want to downplay some of the stuff that my friends have to deal with. And man, I'm sure it's a little jealousy, you know, getting to see that, you know, just on a random day they can go, all right, cool, I'm going to just drop everything and go do this. And I wish I had that freedom sometimes. I wish I had that, you know, the disposable income to do some of the things that I'm seeing. And it really, after getting a chance to talk to my friend this weekend in our car ride, and realizing how long it had been since we had really sat and talked. And we used to stay up till 3 o'clock in the morning at the old house, you know, talking about waxing philosophical constantly. and it kind of hit me after that drive, and then seeing all these interactions that I think it really bummed me out. It hit me in a bad place. It hit me in part of myself that I don't like to know that's there. I like to say that I'm always bubbly and I'm always happy. I'm always positive about, I try to do all these things. And I'm trying to make a conscious effort not to chime in on things when I know that my chiming in is not going to be helpful. That it's not offering anything but, salt and negativity. And so I'm trying to get better about that. I used to be real bad about when someone says something that I disagree with or has an opinion that I disagree with, that I would jump in and be like, oh, ho, ho, here we go. And yes, I might still make the occasional, snarky comment. But I don't roll up my sleeves and wade in on things anymore, because it doesn't do any good. I don't, and maybe that's part of the problem. Maybe I've distanced myself from some of that because I don't want that drama anymore. I've got too many other things, too much other stress running around in my head to add someone else's stress to it by, joining their cause or trying to urge someone to come fight a battle that doesn't need fought, because there's no winners. And it really sank home. And it just happened to be that one of my friends, part of that Discord, reached out to me just yesterday. And if you follow me on socials, you saw my post yesterday about friendship being, sometimes you have to be able to just realize that things suck and that's okay, but we're still friends. And yeah, I had a very long conversation yesterday with one of my friends, who admitted that they have a hard time coming up to this house. They have a hard time coming up here, and they've got their reasons. And I'm not going to try and throw anybody under the bus or tell them that their reasons are wrong or anything along those lines. But it still stings, it's still the, all right, and it was nice to have that conversation, that nice, open, honest conversation. And even just to know that despite the fact that, we don't hang out like we used to, we don't get to do those things, just knowing that they want to, just knowing that it's something that we should both strive for, lifted my heart a little bit. And I know that sounds kind of stupid, but if you know that both people want things to be better, but the circumstances might be out of your control, it feels a little bit better just knowing that you want to. I mean, there's that old saying of, I might say no, but it's nice to be invited. It's kind of like that feeling, we both know that it's gonna be hard to make this work like it used to. Life has moved on. Things are changed. We are different humans with different circumstances revolving around each of us. But knowing that both of us want it to be better, and if possible, will make it better, that's awesome. And it was hard. It was a hard day yesterday. I had a lot of stuff rolling around in my head. And it's part of the reasons why I had another topic that I wanted to do for today, and I'm gonna save it for next week. Because I wanted to talk about just, you never know what somebody's going through, mentally speaking, emotionally speaking, and it is so easy for you for you want to be able to impose your assumptions and impose your social cues and social rules on everybody around you and everybody you interact with. They should interact with you based off of how you want it to be. And I think that I needed to come around to the fact that that's not always the case. It's it's my reality that I'm dealing with, but there are other actors on the stage, so to speak. And I really want to this video is for me to kind of take I don't know, not take blame, that's not the right word, take the responsibility or wear it. I don't know, just that things can be hard. They're allowed to be hard. Hopefully they won't be hard forever. And if you watch this, if you're any of my friends that watch this, I hope that I do right by you guys. Friends, family, fans, all of you. I hope that I do right by what you need to have a better experience in your life. And I'm telling this to myself as well. I hope that I'm doing right by me, what I need for my life. It's just, it's important. It's important to be realistic with yourself, to recognize that, it is a super deep cliche, but it's okay to be not okay. And yesterday I was not okay. I needed, maybe for the last couple days I've been not okay. But I needed to reset, Magic the Gathering terms, upkeep, untap upkeep, whatever. I really needed that conversation yesterday with my friend, and combine that with the heaviness of yesterday's conversation with the kind of enlightenment of the conversation I had with my buddy in the car this last weekend. I found some motivations rolling around in this vacuous void that is my skull sometimes. I found some reasons for me to try and be better, and I mean that across the board. Better dad, better friend, better husband, better designer, better worker, better manager, whatever, better producer. I don't know. Just better me. I have some things that I need to do to be a better Bryan, and I don't know if it'll stick. I don't know if today will be as good of a day as I'd like it to be. I don't know if tomorrow is going to be better. In the next couple of weeks, I know I've got some familial engagements that some I'm looking forward to. Some I know are going to be taxing, and afterwards I'm probably going to need to have a couple of fingers of scotch and some alone time. But it is something that I know that I need to tackle. I can't keep ignoring some of the stuff that goes on in my head because it's uncomfortable. And I guess that's, I know today's been more or less just kind of a vent, a discussion. I don't know if you've learned anything out of this. I don't know if most of you have probably already clicked off and went and found some fun cat videos, which I highly suggest. They're great. But if you have stuck it out, I really just hope that you recognize you get whatever you need to get out of this. Or maybe you don't. Maybe you just watch this and go, wow, that was a waste of 46 minutes out of my life. But whatever the case may be, I want to say thank you. I want to say thank you to everybody who watches these videos, everyone who shares them and subscribes, interacts and whatnot. I know my audience is nowhere near as big as many others, and that's not as important to me as I thought it would be back in the day, when I thought that my YouTube show was gonna make me big and famous. That's not really the point. The point is for me to be able to send out some cool thoughts, maybe open some cool products and show you some things that I dig, and talk about, you know, projects that I'm working on, and just sort of spread the general awareness, because my industry is awesome. I love the game industry. I love game worlds and game settings, and I love the fact that, yeah, there are people out there that are passionate about it to a fault. But for every one person who is a jackass about canon, or who goes out of their way to say, don't play this game, it's terrible, or you know, don't support that creator, they said this thing 10 years ago. For all of those people, there is a host of awesome gamers and awesome creators and friends I've made across the industry, both sides of the screen, so to speak. And I wouldn't have it any other way. But it's hard. And I have to thank you guys for helping me through, giving me a platform to be able to talk this stuff out. And hopefully not making too much fun of me in the comments for being like this sometimes. Everybody's got to come to terms with reality now and again. And my current reality is that I am very busy. Probably too much so. But it's necessary. And through all of that necessary busyness, I get to create a lot of really, really cool stuff that hopefully will live on long beyond me. And through the stories and fun tables and whatnot, that it gets used and shown to others and whatever. I am very fortunate. I know this. And just, I guess, thanks. Thanks to all of you guys for sticking with me, and, you know, buying products I'm involved with, and sharing them with your friends and playing with your friends, and all the things that you do. Hell, just being here to listen to me go on about it. It's worth it. And while I have needed the mental scrubbing that I've taken this week, I'm still very happy. Do not take today's episode as a, ooh, is Bryan in a bad place? He's not. I'm not. I'm not going to talk in the third person. I am not in a bad place. I'm in a very, very good place. I'm for the most part happier than I've been in a long time. I'm just tired, a little fatigued, and very busy, and a little envious of several of the people around me, co-workers. I've got a lot of man, I wish I could do that energy. And current me definitely looks back at some of the aspects of past me and goes, it would be really cool to be able to do that again. But in the interim, till I can get to that place, till I can make that happen, I still get to play cool things. I still get to watch awesome movies. I still get to write cool stories and play games for a living. And I am super thankful for that. So, I told you, I went way longer than I thought I was going to because I pontificate. I appreciate you guys sticking with me and listening to all this rant. Not even really rant, but just all of this stuff. So just because I treasure your existence, stay safe. Please wash your hands, get your shots, wear a mask if you have to. Don't pick fights you don't need to pick. Do not start being involved with things that are just going to hurt you unless you absolutely have to. And just try and make every room you enter just a little happier than when you got there. I wish that could be a rule written someplace that everyone would follow. But until next week, where I promise I will have an actual gaming related topic and something cool to discuss with you guys. We'll see you in a week. Thanks for being here for me for all these episodes and years and countless hours. Play some games.